This is a cross-legged seated hover. So with the cross-legged seated hover, unlike the lotus pose where I would latch my feet up onto my lap, I'm actually just crossing my feet like I would with like a normal cross-legged sit. And because of that, when I press myself up into this pose, I'm going to feel a little more leverage on my abs compared to the lotus pose, because now I'm actually having to do a little bit of effort. If I do nothing, my legs just sort of, the feet stay on the ground. So I have to do a little bit of effort in my hips to be able to pick those feet up off the ground and hold them there. So a progression for this is for you to be able to you can just kind of keep your feet on the ground and press yourself up into the air. So that way your butt is leaving the ground. You can see from here, my butt's going to leave the ground, but my feet stay on the floor. And then you can progress that as you feel stronger with this. You can then progress from just keeping your feet on the ground to then same position, pick your feet up off the ground. Whichever one you're doing, it's extremely important that your shoulder posture is intact. Extremely important. So let's review that. So I'm using blocks because my hands are just not long enough to be able to push myself off the ground. It's physically impossible. No matter how good my posture is, it's not going to happen. And if that's the case with you, with good shoulders back and down, you just have nothing to lift. You can use blocks. I'm using yoga blocks. You can also use a stack of books as long as the same height on each side, or even some push-up handles, whatever you want to utilize to help kind of give you a little bit of lift though to work with there. So with the blocks, I'm going to put them right by my sides. I'll even use them a little bit taller. I'll be using the tall side of them. I'm going to put them right by my hips there, but so that my hands are going to be right below my shoulders. I don't want the blocks behind me or even too far in front of me, especially not behind me. I want them right below my shoulders. And then from there, before I go to lift, first thing I'm going to do is shoulders back and down. I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades into my back pockets, take my chest up, lift it up, and make sure my spine's up nice and straight and tall through the back of my head. So I want to keep that form in place as soon as I lift up here. So to lift up, I'm going to extend my elbows, pressing down into the blocks. I'm going to hold my form there. See, my feet are on the ground, shoulders are back and down, elbows are straight, head's back, keeping that form. And if I feel good to be able to pick my feet up, then I just bring my feet up with me. Now I've got a little bit more going on in those abs and the hips there, in the front of the hips. Ooh, yeah, baby. You hold that for time, or you can do it for reps, but then you bring it down. Whichever you do, make sure you get the opposite position of your legs. So here, I have my right foot tucked in first, and then my left foot. So then I want to make sure I want to get the opposite of that. So I'm going to tuck my left foot in first, then my right. There's a subtle difference there, and you probably will feel it the moment you do your opposite sit that you might not be used to. It's important to get balance in our body, though. So with the opposite position, same thing, shoulders back and down, spines up tall at the back of my head. I'm going to press through the blocks, lift everything up, maintain that form up top for however long or breaths you're holding for, and then you lower back down and reset. And that there is your seated cross-legged hover.